I'm Eric Williams, speaking to you from Melbourne, Australia, and sorry that I can't be with you at this first annual Inflammatory Breast Cancer Conference there at the MD Anderson Center in Houston. I'm here on assignment for WBAI-FM and other publications. That's why I'm not there with you now. Let me just say that inflammatory breast cancer first came to my attention 2 years ago, during my first visit to Australia, when a dear friend of mine by the name of Libby Tonkin had asked me to record her and a friend of hers, a lady by the name of Fiona Thompson, 2 days before I returned to New York. Now, Libby had been sick with breast cancer for the last 4 years up to that point, but I didn't realize or didn't know that she was suffering from inflammatory breast cancer until that sit-down where she asked me to bring a camera and a recording device along. And so I did. We spoke for about an hour, and the discussion over that 60-minute period was the basis for an 8-part series on inflammatory breast cancer that was aired on WBAI-FM. Now, prior to going on the air with that interview, I spoke with cancer experts all over the United States to help get the information out about this largely unknown disease. One of the things that really struck me about it was that my friend Libby Tonkin, who I dedicated the 8-part series to, was unable to get much information about IBC here in Australia. What I found really striking was that there was also a paucity of information in the United States as well. What struck me was that while my friend Libby is a white Australian woman, that on the North American continent, for reasons unknown to most scientists and cancer experts, women of color, in particular Black and Latino women, are for some reason greatly afflicted with this disease more than their white counterparts. As a reporter who works at a radio station, my job is to get information out to the public that would be helpful and meaningful to their lives. I am here in Australia to not only work for my own publications and radio station, but also to act as an advocate here, to get my media counterparts here in Australia to talk about it. Because this is, after all, an industrialized country as well, just like in Western Europe and in North America. There is a connection between the United States and Australia. Not only do we share a common language, we share scientists who banter back and forth and share really important information back and forth. And as a reporter, I want to help to bring that information to the folks listening and watching and reading. As far as IBC is concerned, I think that there should be more emphasis on it in the ethnic media in the United States. For example, in publications such as Ebony and Jet magazine that serve the largely African American communities, and then in magazines and publications such as La Prensa, Latina, and El Diario that support and that cater to the Latino community in the United States. This is really important, and perhaps as an advocate, a patient advocate, and as a one who works in the media generally, this can help to happen. Anyway, I dedicated the series to Libby Tonkin, who is a woman who is suffering from this disease. And people really emphasized with that and really empathized with that, because what we're talking about is a disease that will eventually end her life. And that's really, really sad. It just really is. As a result of my 8-part series, I ended up receiving a number of awards and accolades. Among them, an Excellence in Journalism Award from the oldest writers group and reporters group in the United States, called the Society of the Silurians. I was greatly honored for that. And also this month of December, we'll be getting a number of proclamations. One from the City Council of the City of New York, and the other from the State Senator Eric Adams, the state senator of New York State. And I'm truly honored to receive those as well. But you know, I would turn all of that in, as I've said so many times to Libby, I would turn all that in if it meant through an act of God that she could be cured of this god-awful and dreaded disease. I would do that without hesitation. Finally, I wanted to say a hello to Dr. Massimo Cristofanelli, who was really instrumental in giving me the information that I needed to help put this series on the air. And I wanted to say hello to folks like Michelle Esteban of TV station KOMO Television of Seattle, as well as Patty Bradfield of the Inflammatory Breast Cancer Foundation, also based in Seattle. And of course, people from my own state of New York, the Citizens Reunited Overcoming Cancer, known as CROC. They were very important too in helping to get the word out. Basically, I'm just a facilitator of information, and that's powerful. And I'm really quite awed and just blown away about what the power of the media could do to affect positive change in people's lives. And I'm really honored to be a part of this effort to get the information out about this dreaded disease. That's all that I'm going to say for right now. But again, I'm really sorry that I can't join you there in Houston for this conference. But I will join you on the phone at the end of this segment, at least, to talk about what we could do to further get the word out. I'm doing what I can on this continent, and I will do what I can back home to get the word out on this. Again, thank you for inviting me. I'm really, really, truly honored to be a part of this first annual conference on inflammatory breast cancer. I'm Eric Williams here in Melbourne, Australia, and I will be joining you on the telephone.